what is up? It is Ali and Noah back with an album review. It has been a minute since we have done one of these. Life, tends to get in the way sometimes, especially around the holidays. I understand,
Oh
Noah, you
yeah.
were recently promoted with your day job, right? How's that going?
Yes. Really well. Is I'm in a whole new department doing a whole new thing, so it's almost like getting a new job. I just work at the
Mhm.
same place, so that took a little bit to get adjusted to, but it's going really well now.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, and congratulations. All right, well, cool. Let's just get into it. Today, we are going to be reviewing Goldfinger's latest album, Never Look Back. And this is an awesome album. I'm going to say it off the bat. If you are a fan of ska punk, especially like the LA ska punk scene, like Goldfinger is like the band. This
The
is their
band.
10th, yeah, this is their 10th studio album. If you're a fan of if you're a fan of Blink, duh, but also, Save Ferris, excuse me, or NoFX, um, duh, you're a Goldfinger fan. And fun fact, this is the first album since their 2002 album, Open Your Eyes, to feature their OG guitar player, Charlie Paulson. And
hmm
wow, that's amazing because I feel he has a very prominent energy in the instrumentation, and it really makes the album. So
It
let's get
does.
started. Do you want to start us off, Noah?
Yeah, I'll start back. They start right away with a nice, just straight pop punk banger, Infinite. Just right away, right from the intro, they have this cool little pop punk riff. And goes right into this catchy song that you don't even know when the chorus starts at first. I had to re-listen to figure out which one was the chorus. There's
Yeah.
like a verse, the pre-chorus and the chorus, and they're all so catchy and fast. You're just like, wait, what is going on?
Oh
But
goodness. Yeah, I
it
agree.
just hits you. It is a great song. I love that they have Mike Herrera singing like his own prominent parts on this album. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite parts of this whole album.
Yeah, I agree. I think Charlie also makes a vocal feature on this song as
He
well.
does. Yeah.
He sings the second verse. Um yeah, no, it was just such a strong open. Like I was very fist pumpy, like mosh pit worthy, just like pure punk. Like nostalgia. It was just great. I loved it so much. I thought
It was
it
great.
really launches you into the rest of this album. And it takes you into, but then switching from Infinite to the next song, it was like a bit of a 180. It was like a bit of a, well, not a 180, because they're a ska band, like it's expected to have ska tracks on it. Duh. What the fuck? But yeah, it just went from Infinite into The City, the second track on the album. Yeah, I love the horns on The City. Brought to you by Real Big Fish's Matt Appleton. So duh, they're gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
And it just was a very standard ska punk banger. Like it just reminded me of the summer. Like it just it reminded me of summer nights here in Manhattan, but at least prior to the pandemic, because this summer was not that eventful, to be honest. Outside of protests and people trying to figure out how to navigate COVID. But yeah, no, it just reminded me of summer nights and venturing out with my friends, and I don't know, it was great. What do you think of the city?
I to go back on your 180 thing, I think they started this album off completely right. They started with a pop punk song and then they went to just like a straight ska song. Just like,
Mhm.
hey, this is what we can do. Now we're going to fuse this together the rest of this album.
Yeah,
That's how I took it. It is really
yeah.
catchy though. It is a really good replay value. Like it's just it finishes and you're like, I can listen to that again. That was a good song.
Mhm. Oh, for
Just a
sure.
nice chill vibe to it, very relatable.
Yeah, no, the city I think is, well, whenever we get into the ranking, for me it was definitely one of my top 5 songs on the album, which the
Same.
album, for context, has 12 tracks, so it's not a long album, but it's not short, that's for sure. Runtime is only 33 minutes. And the way ska songs go, they go kind of fast, so they don't slow down. Um I will say though, one of my like top two songs was the next one, Wallflower. I thought it was so sweet. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I love it's kind of like one of those songs that tips their hat to an old song. The intro sounds like kind of like the intro to Here in Your Bedroom, which was one of their first singles ever as a band, their first song that really put their name out there. And the
Mm-hmm.
intro is the same, similar, just like a very easy drum beat with the bass line just going. I figured it was like a little nod to their first single because it was the only single they released off this album. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt it was like a little nod, like to their first ever single. But this is a really good song. I think
Yeah.
they do the mix of pop punk and ska perfect in this song. It's catchy, it's fast, you got the horns in the background, and a nice little horn solo towards the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall good. Very relatable song if you are in love or have been in a long term relationship too.
Yeah, I think he wrote this for his wife.
I would
Yeah.
hope so with the
Yeah, John Feldman wrote
lyrics.
this for his wife. Yeah, it's just so sweet. And I think this is the first song they released since their 2017 album, The Knife,
Hmm.
I believe. And it's just something that you play for when you want to tell somebody that you love them. So I think it was really great. Um, yeah, top three, top two songs for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But again, like after that one, it was hard to pick because then there was also California on my mind. And honestly, this song reminded me a lot of, do you remember Tijuana Sunrise?
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
song.
That's a great song. And this one
Hmm.
reminded me of that one as well. I can't put my finger on why, but it's just a perfect companion to any beach trip that you ever make. It was just like, I don't know, I think one of my favorite lyrics was, I want to feel the sand between my toes and imagine how far the water goes. Why isn't ska more commercially accepted? Because honestly, that would be amazing for like any like summer campaign. Like, I don't know, people need to listen to more ska. Uh,
I agree.
yeah.
100%.
Hmm.
This I put this as the solid number three spot on the album for me. This song, the first two, there's like a fight for what's number one, what's number two, but this is a solid third place for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for
I
sure.
also noted that this is a song. It sounds like he went to the beach just as Jason Mraz to write. It was. I felt like he got his inspiration.
He's like, what if Jason Mraz wrote ska music? How would that sound? Nah, ska came first before Jason Mraz. Let's be clear here.
Way before.
Way before. Decades prior. But yeah, I really love this song. I'm gonna listen to it again whenever we're done recording this episode. Mostly because it's like 30 degrees here, and listening to this album like reminded me of the summer, and I just want to have warmer, beachier thoughts
This
right now.
album probably would have done a lot better if it came out in like July, not December.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know if it got pushed back because of COVID
No, I
or
follow
was it
them
planned to
on
come out?
I follow them on social media, and out of nowhere they just released a single where like, "Hey, an album's coming in December," and that was like the first thing they had ever said about it, really.
That's nice.
Other than John had hinted towards he was writing Goldfinger stuff throughout the year, but
Mhm.
nothing official until they released Wallflower, and it was like, "Oh, album too, by the way."
Mhm. Yeah. It's just, I mean, there's just quality songwriting on this whole thing, and the delivery just like speaks for itself. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's just a really like, well, we'll get more into the overall thoughts on the album later. Excuse me. Let's continue talking about these tracks. Next, after these two, like kind of like both of the songs, Wallflower and California on My Mind, are like love letters to, well, obviously Wallflower is a love letter to John Feldman's wife, and then California on My Mind is a love letter to California, and then we just get angry with Nothing to Me. Um, yeah, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I love John Feldman is 53 years old, I think, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I love the 50-year-old angst on this. I feel like this is gonna be me in my 50s. I'm gonna be happy, have a good career, have a family, but then I'm still just gonna be like angsty and wanna
Mm.
scream into a microphone.
Yeah.
But I love the song. This is
Yeah.
one of the ones fighting for one or two spot for me.
And Travis is drumming on this track.
Oh, I didn't know that, but it
Yeah,
would make a lot of sense.
yeah, Nick Gross and Travis Barker are both drumming on this track. I don't know if I can't remember if during my research for this album if Travis drummed on more than just the single. I think he drummed on like all of them.
I know he did their last album. He did like every song or all but like one of them on their
Yeah,
last
I'm
album.
pretty sure on this one he did also all of them. Which is great. 'Cause you know, if people who are in the know that Travis Barker started off as a ska drummer. Before he got into Blink, he was the drummer for shit.
The
Was it the Aquabats?
Aquabats.
Yeah, the
Mm.
Aquabats. Yeah, which they're insane live. I love them. I saw them
They're
at Warped
great.
Tour, and it was just a grand old time. But yeah, no, the drumming for Travis's drumming on this just like really shines through on this on both Nothing to Me and Good Guy in my opinion. I thought the production was really sleek and it had some like really I like the choruses and it was just so like
Hmm.
angry and so punk and I just it was great. I guess we can also kind of lump Good Guy into that as well, to be honest,
Oh
because they were
yeah.
both. That one was also angsty and also just again just epic choruses, sleek production. Travis, does his godlike drumming, and I just like I don't know. You, you give your thoughts, Noah, because I'm just lumping them together at this point.
I John Feldman has had such a long career, and you can just tell when bands start releasing their 10th, 11th album, they get up there. You can tell they like lose interest, or it's like you listen to their first album compared to their last one. It's just you wouldn't guess they're the same band other than the voice. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel with John, with his career, and he produces so many big names. He's a songwriter. He does all this stuff outside of Goldfinger. That
Mm-hmm.
every album it just gets better and better. It seems like, and this song is like a very good example of that. He knows how to write a really good, relatable song, really good
Mm-hmm.
production. Production just keeps getting better over time because he produces so many albums.
Mm-hmm.
This song overall shows that very well. It's a very
Yeah,
good song to showcase for new Goldfinger.
Yeah, I think John Feldman and the rest of the band just really know themselves as musicians, or you would hope that they know themselves as musicians at this point. And I think the ability for them to just still make amazing music at their 10th album just really shows like how much they really care about music.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they care about not just like putting out a song to like just be a hit, but like putting out music that people, like you said, can be related to, and like has like a long shelf life. Because I feel like all of Goldfinger's stuff, like over time, it to me it never feels outdated. It never feels like cheesy. It never feels and cheesy, and it's hilarious to say cheesy because it is ska, okay?
Oh yeah,
Sometimes it can be a bit much, but
I have a note about that later on in this album.
God, oh yeah, I have one as well. There's only one song. We'll get there when we get there, but there's only
I'm
one
sure it's the
song,
same one.
probably. But yeah, I think it's just good writing and it's good production, and I'm really glad to see them still have such like a tenacity for the craft. You know, 10th album in.
Yeah,
So
which is
yeah,
very rare.
it is very rare. Um, but yeah, and again, shout out to Mike Herrera, who's not gonna, ever hear this shout out. For again having just like great vocals on his verse and Good Guy. I really enjoyed. I don't know how he delivered his lyrics. I don't know why. It just his lines were it hurts to be the good guy, letting everyone step when you can get to the top. And I'm just like, damn, I know what it's like to be stepped on.
Oh yeah,
Oh God, it's just great.
he's just like John. Do you listen to MXPX at all?
A little bit. I went. say that I'm an avid fan, but I'm a casual listener.
They were my number two this year on my replay. But
Oh man.
he's the same way though. Just with time, it just is getting better. He really appreciates and likes what he does, and you can tell he's lost no interest, and it shows on the Goldfinger album too.
Yeah,
All his verses on it are super well crafted.
yeah, everybody's just aging like a fine wine here, or whatever, a fine bourbon, or whatever your alcohol of choice is. It's great. Um, but yeah, moving on. We move on to The Best Life. What did you think of this song, Noah?
I love the energy and the drumming on this song,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought this was another good mix of pop punk and ska.
Mm-hmm.
Which I
It
mean,
has some like reggae. It had some reggae in it as well, which is
yeah,
hilarious because it mentions reggae in the song, and you're like, oh wow,
it's like what it
really,
opens up with.
really painting a scene here, really putting us in the scene.
Yeah, I just love Goldfinger has that way because like ska punk, it's still punk, so every ska song for the most part is gonna have some sort of punk or pop punk to it. But Goldfinger just has a way to blend them like perfectly. It's such a good mix between the two.
I thought that the on this song, I felt like the hooks like just gave me like the biggest smile. Like it's just like one of those songs where you just want to like get drunk and like sing along with your friends. Well,
It's true.
socially distanced, of course, but it was just one of those songs where you put it on, you're just like, wow, nothing's wrong in the world. It's the best life. And I think it's like a second love letter to, again, his wife, because I'm pretty sure he talks about, like, in the lyrics, if you pay attention to them, it's kind of about the day that they met and how she moved across the country to move to LA and be with him, and kind of how their life is developed. So on the one hand, we got one letter about their current relationship, and then we have one story about how they got together in the first place, and it's just like it's a full circle, kind of like, wow, the backstory. I love it. Yeah, it was just made my heart floof. It was a great, warm, heartwarming song.
Yeah, I feel like throughout this album you get a good look into John's life more so than their previous albums.
For sure. And maybe that could be because, now he is much older and he's just like, this is the life I've lived. And I'm at a point now where I feel like I can share it and not feel judged because, one, I'm John motherfucking Feldman. Like,
Yeah.
like what are you gonna do? Like, this is my life and I'm okay with being vulnerable. Not that he hasn't been vulnerable before in any of his other stuff, but I think it's interesting whenever older musicians talk about their youth, I guess, and we get to look back at certain parts of their career and be like, oh, I wonder if this happened to then and this happened then. It was just cool. But then we move on to Careful What You Wish For, featuring Monique Powell of Save Ferris. Again, if you're a Save Ferris fan, you're a Goldfinger fan.
Oh
Monique
yeah.
is a icon in the
Mhm.
90s ska like scene. I love her. She's
I was
amazing.
very happy when I saw her name on the track listing.
Mhm.
I actually listened to that before I started the album because I was like, no way.
Yeah, it was like a very, I don't know, like spirited duet. It was definitely, in my opinion, one of the album's like stronger moments. I
Oh
felt
yeah.
like it was just it was the perfect duet for this song. I think they complemented each other really well, and it was very polished, and it was just great.
I love the subject too. Like it's like almost a touchy subject, but it's so true. Like be careful what you wish for, because if you have everything, what else is going to keep you going? And people
Hmm.
don't think of it like that, but
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
that's
I agree.
something people don't put in perspective, and they wrote a whole song about it. It makes you
Hmm.
really think.
Yeah. I think again, maybe this is again just I worry a lot of the time about when I get older and I keep writing songs, like what am I going to write about? Because I assume that by that point I'll have like my mental health kind of managed and my life kind of together, and like I'll be in a relationship So like, what am I gonna write about? Because all my songs are sad and about how, for lack of a better phrase, fucked up I am. So like, what am I gonna write about whenever all of those things get resolved? And this is like one of those songs that you're just like, that's what you write about. Like you write about what you've learned and like and like the wisdom you've gained. And I felt like this song just like taught me. Oh, it just taught me lessons that I didn't know I would be learning in this album. So, thank you, John Feldman and Monique Powell, for schooling me on that.
That's awesome.
Goodness. Yeah.
I go in to write like an emo song, and it always ends up just being somewhat like of a sweet song that I direct towards my fiance. Like it just I don't know
Oh,
what it is. It just happens now.
goodness. Man, I struggle with writing like happy songs or writing songs that are about people I have healthy relationships with. And yeah, I just really want to do it, but I just can't. It doesn't feel authentic to me. And again, that's because of where I am in life. So I look forward to the day when that's a thing that can happen.
And after Careful What You Wish For, we get Cannonball, which is a pop punk anthem in my eyes. It has that cool, like, fade into the song, pop punk drums and guitar riff, and it's just a great song. It's so catchy. It's straight pop punk from start to finish. It's just a good keep you going, keep the album going. Like nowadays, everyone's attention span's getting so short that around this time in an album's really where you either fall off or you get re-excited and you're ready to go. And this is the song that gets you ready to go, ready to finish it up.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like it was exactly what you needed to kind of have a second wave, like a
Mm-hmm.
second wind in like this whole album journey. I felt like it did a really great job of keeping the party going with its really big choruses, and it just kind of kept me and Victoria kind of just like moshing around in the apartment, and the guitar lines are really strong and just felt kind of almost like oddly Guitar Hero worthy. I was just like, wow, this is awesome. Yeah, it just was a brilliant song.
They
So,
need to make a new Guitar Hero.
oh my gosh, that would
We need a
be,
pension for that.
yeah. Can Guitar Hero, can you please send us the beta test? We'll beta test it. Um, yeah, so I liked Cannonball a lot, and I think I agree with you again that yeah, by this point in albums, like you could really make or break the last couple of tracks because, like you said, everybody's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, and I know mine definitely have my attention span has definitely been getting shorter and shorter for some odd reason I don't know. So yeah, I was happy with how this song came out and where it was placed.
I was too.
hmm
That brings us
Um.
into Golden Days,
Mhm.
10th track on the album. Very
Mhm.
relatable song. Another very good ska punk hybrid as well.
Mhm.
It's a good blend of both of them throughout the whole song.
Mhm. Yeah, I honestly thought I was away from my computer when this song came on, and I thought this was the closing track. Um, so after it ended and we got into well, the next song that we're gonna be talking about, I was like, I was really happy with it. It was just like a song, an introspective track about what happened to the golden days and what happened, well, like what look back in the past and like where time went. um I think again this is another song where you're just like, well, shit, what do I write about when I'm older as a musician? And this is it, you look back at
This
your
is
life,
it.
you look back at your life and you're just like John like really hit it home where he says in the chorus, what happened to the golden days? What happens to the plans you made? What happened to the late night drives? There was nothing to hide. Skate together until we die. And I was just like, damn, like this guy, like he's lived such a life and
He
has had
has.
such a career with his bandmates. I Like, I can only imagine, like, what looking back on the past it must be like for him. And this song really, like, struck a chord because I sometimes find myself thinking back at, the last 10 years, the last 15 years of my life and my youth in Louisiana. And, it's just, you do sit back and you just wonder, like, damn, where did time go? And I think that's a feeling many people have. I think he just perfectly captured that whole questioning of like, damn, my youth is now my youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit that point where he realizes, oh, I am the older guy now I always was anticipating becoming.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm now in the point in my life that I couldn't imagine myself being. I think a lot of people find it hard to imagine themselves. At least I hope other people can have this thought because I worry about this a lot that I'm the only one. But I sometimes can't really imagine myself being old. Like not old, but just older. Like it's really hard for me to know again, this could just be where I am in life, but it's hard to imagine where I'll be in 5 years, 10 years. Because I'm just like, shit, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I think growing old is one of my biggest fears ever, and it creates a lot of anxiety. I
It
hope I'm
is
not
a
the only
very
one.
anxious thing. You are
Yeah.
not.
Oh, great. Anyway, on that note, we should move on to the next track.
Oof.
Um, which is oh god, this song is called Dumb, and it is exactly that. It is.
This is the cheesiest song I've heard in
Oh
a
my
long
god.
time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wrote no notes. I was just like, this song is dumb. I'm
I
sorry.
wrote I wrote two. I wrote this the lyrics should be very relatable if you are deeply in love. And then I wrote, but Scott runs a fine line between being cheesy and being good. The way with the upstrokes of the guitar and the horns, like that can become cheesy real quick. And this took a hard left to the cheesy section.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, it's like funny, but like I don't know. I feel like if I ever sang along to this song, it would be ironically. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I could have cared less for this song. Because I there you are having like a really like kind of um like introspective, like not crisis of thought, but like there you are having like an introspective moment and reminiscing on the past, and then all of a sudden you get this song, and you're just like, why? Why?
The whole time I was listening to it, I was just waiting for it to get less cheesy, and it just never came.
It just never happened. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. This one I could have cared less for. Maybe it needed something to like cut the. Maybe it needed something to like grab you from um whenever you watch something like too deep or too um sad or too
Mm,
it's like too serious, and then you have to watch something that's like not trash but like something light or something like
yeah.
silly to kind of like counterbalance that.
I mean,
I think maybe that was Dumb's
I
purpose.
I am a 25, gonna be 26-year-old man, and if I watch something remotely scary, I still watch an episode like It's Always Sunny afterwards before I
Yeah.
go to bed or
Yeah.
something. So
So
I
it's not like the
understand that
last thing you
completely.
listen to or watch before you go to
Yeah.
bed.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe that was Dumb's purpose on this album. So great if that's the case, but I hated every minute of this song.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Um so yeah, on that note, we're gonna get to the final closing track, which oh my gosh, this I loved this song.
I did
Great,
too.
great closer. Standing on the beach was a high for me on this album. I think it was my top song, to be honest. It was just I felt like there was a cool like slight 80s rock vibe to it, and it just fades the album out to leave you with like this just very like positive kind of afterglow, and I just wanted to listen to the whole album again. Like I wanted
Hmm.
to immediately just play it all from the start and go through the journey again. I
This
felt like,
album. Oh, sorry. Go
oh
ahead.
no, you're good. I was gonna just say it kind of reminded me of The Cure for some reason. I don't know why, but it just did. Again,
This.
it could be the '80s feel that I got from it, but
hmm
it was just great.
This album does have a really good replay value. Like, you finish and it starts back up with Infinite, and like the first time I listened to it, I did not pull my phone out to change it. I just let it go again. Cause like, okay, it was
Yeah,
only 33 minutes anyway, so
yeah.
it wasn't
That's
awful.
an episode of Always Sunny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This I like this riff though. This is the first riff on the whole album, like the only one that's kind of like a darker tone to it. Like it's
Mhm.
kind of more like I was expecting a sadder song to come on that didn't. It was not a sad song at all. But with this riff, I was like, oh, they're ending it on like a angsty emo side, and then it wasn't. But that's what the riff reminded me of, and it's the only one on this whole album like that.
Yeah.
Mike had a really good verse in this song too. Again.
Yeah. I think there's just overall like I mean, I guess I don't have anything else really to say about standing on the beach. Anything I could say will just lead into my overall notes for the album. Like honestly, like just after the year that was 2020, like Never Look Back, this album was just a great surprise from one of, ska's best bands.
Mm-hmm.
And after listening to it a few times, I think just Goldfinger has shown like really great timing with this album release. They're obviously all musicians of really high caliber, and I think the way that this album lifts you up is just something that a lot of people really needed.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and then I guess like this is if for any like new listeners, like I think this is a good album to like start with if you're just finding out about Goldfinger and you
Oh
want to
yeah.
get into the band's other, like I said, this is their 10th studio album. So, and then for old fans, I think the record will, kind of hit those marks of, what it's like skating around, skating in the city or skating in your hometown and, you know, playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something. Like, I don't know. I think it gives something for everyone.
Oh
So I think
yeah.
I think Never Look Back, it just encapsulates everything that's just great about Goldfinger.
I agree completely. It's very replayable. I wish there was more Mike on the album, but I think that's just my biased opinion because he was on it a lot.
Yeah.
I just, I'm a big MXPX fan and just a Mike Herrera fan in general. I think he's a great musician. So just, I think they gave us a taste of him being on this album and me being me. I was just like, more, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have. I think Mike was on there enough for me. Because again, I'm not an avid fan of MXPX. I
Yeah.
am just a casual listener. So I think, in my opinion, it was just right. But I would have liked to have seen Monique Powell have like one other like feature, maybe somewhere else, or maybe do background vocals on something. I don't know. Unless she did, and I'm just partially deaf and didn't hear her.
I didn't
Um,
catch it anyway if she
yeah,
did.
I didn't catch it anywhere either. But yeah, I think ranking wise, like out of 10, I mean, the only thing I didn't like was dumb. So I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
I gave it a 9, but I could round it up to a 9.5. This is a
Yeah,
really good
this
album.
is such a good
It's
album.
the replay value is insane.
It was high energy. It's just a good like punk rock, ska punk like record.
hmm
And I just yeah, that's it. That's
It's
all I got.
Goldfinger. That's the best way to put
Goldfinger.
it. It's
That's it.
Goldfinger.
That's all we got for you folks. Um, but yeah, Noah, I'm really glad that we're recording these episodes again, and I'm
Me
excited for
too.
what we have planned for the rest of this year. And, hopefully 2021 isn't a dumpster fire, so we'll see what happens. Guys, if you have any albums or EPs or singles that you want Noah and I to talk about or review or whatever, just listen to, please send them to us in our DMs. You can find Noah at Noah C. Cross, and you can find me at, well, my handle's really lame, so you can just Google. Just type my name in and you'll see it. I'll put my handle in the description box below. I should really change it, but it's so punny. It's like a jazz reference that I can't not change it now. Yeah, so thanks guys for tuning in to listen to Noah and I review Goldfinger's Never Look Back. We hope to catch you in the next episode. And we hope whenever you're listening to this, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or 3 a.m. staring at your ceiling, we hope that you're doing well. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with your friends who also enjoy Goldfinger, or new friends that you feel like might like the album. And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and happy holidays. Be safe out there, wash your hands, and yeah, use your noggins. Bye, guys.
Bye.